It has been nearly 30 years now since a small independent movie called Swingers became a cultural phenomenon and thrust its young cast to stardom. Vince Vaughn played Trent, a character whose fast, funny, self-assured way, it turns out, wasn't much of a stretch for Vaughn. His hilarious performances in movies from Old School and Dodgeball to Wedding Crashers and Anchorman made him a comedy hero to a generation of fans. For the last decade or so, the married father of two who last year got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame has taken on more serious roles, like his latest for Netflix. Vince and I got together in New York this week for a Sunday Sitdown.
Am I interested? I'm not really interested. Should I play like I'm interested, but I'm not that interested? But I think she might be interested, but do I want to be interested? But now she's not interested. So now all of a sudden I'm starting to get interested.
How close is Vince Vaughn to that guy that we all loved through those movies?
I just think a sense of humor served me well in life. I think we all have different sides to ourselves. We just get rewarded for whatever gets the most approval, I guess, from others.
Right?
That trademark, fast-talking sense of humor has made Vince Vaughn an endlessly quotable icon of American comedy.
You know, I hear just a tip, you know, ass out hug, your money, baby. Now, I think people don't even remember where they're from sometimes.
Earmuffs is part of the language.
Max, can you earmuff it for me?
I've had people do that in front of me, not even realizing that it was from Old School. It's just part of the lexicon, that's right,
The 55-year-old Vaughn grew up outside of Chicago. His mom worked in finance, his dad as a toy salesman. Their son was an athlete, his high school's class president, and yes, a performer.
I'm curious where this idea of performance and acting came for you and what excited you about it.
Yeah, you know, both my parents worked, so they put me in stuff. I played sports and acting. I was in, believe it or not, it was musical theater. So I just kept doing it. And then I started, you know, going to the city and training more seriously.
Vaughn saved money from commercial acting jobs and at 18 years old moved to Los Angeles, where he began to land small parts on TV.
What if Mrs. Tompkins was trying to kill her husband and the guy double-crossed her?
His first film role came in the 1993 movie Rudy.
And this thinks it's the Super Bowl!
It was on that set he met fellow actor Jon Favreau, who wrote the now famous 1996 independent film Swingers, made on a shoestring budget with Vaughn as co-star.
Baby, you are so money and you don't even know it.
There was a sound guy who we got who I think might have worked in the sound department in the adult film industry, and he said, well, no one's going to see this. Like, this is fun for you and your friends. This is like a home movie. And it was a little bit of a perspective of, these odds are crazy.
At what point, Vince, did you realize Swingers was connecting?
Yeah, it's how I evaluate stuff. It's when it gets into the culture.
Yeah.
When the sayings or the lingo becomes part of the everyday vernacular. Or ESPN started saying he's so money he doesn't even know it.
After Swingers, Vaughn leaned into more dramatic roles.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
And then Todd Phillips came to me with Old School. And I thought, this is really cool. This is fun. This is a little bit defiant. And then the odd thing was, at the time, the studio said, I don't, you know, he's a good actor, but is he funny? Can he do comedy?
Mental and physical strain. Frank, just pace yourself.
Old School was a hit, kicking off a run of comedies that defined the early 2000s.
Hey, I'm not sure where you're going with this.
Well, I'm not sure where you're going with this.
That's what I just said.
That's what I'm saying to you.
All right.
Touche.
Led by Wedding Crashers, which made nearly $300 million at the box office.
Hot round! Red 7, red 7, red 7!
The movies all with Vaughn's quick charm at the center.
Do you recognize that for a while there was an entire generation of guys who kind of tried on your personality for a little while?
And then I went and I consciously went to destroy that with The Breakup. So The Breakup was my idea and I wrote it. What if I do a movie about a relationship where that guy actually goes to the girl feeling bad about the dynamics of the relationship and sees things differently and really has changed in a genuine way.
Was that ever odd to have to be that guy all the time?
Well, it takes you a second to figure out. I think the thing that became interesting was just realizing that people are in pain and the comedies make them laugh. So I would have people come up to me later and say, when my mom was dying, you know, super heavy, we would watch Dodgeball over and over because it would really make her laugh. And you learn how to kind of appreciate that and be connected to it.
Vaughn connects again in his new Netflix movie, Nonas, based on the true story of Joe Scaravella, who opened a unique Italian restaurant on New York's Staten Island as a way to honor his late mother.
Food is love. And as long as I have their food, then I'm going to have them.
Joe's here, we're at his restaurant. This is in Staten Island, and the concept was to have real grandmothers, Italian grandmothers, to be the chefs.
What was it about this that made you say, yeah, I'm going to stop, maybe be away from my kids for a while,
Yes,
and take this on?
You know, I do think being raised with my grandmother, I felt so fortunate to get her wisdom. And so I really got moved when I read the script and the way that it was really focusing on these grandmothers, these matriarchs of a family that did so much and loved people, and then that they get to continue that process, this craft that they're great at, which is cooking, and still loving to feed people and create that atmosphere.
I spit on Bologna. Spit on Sicily, okay?
A movie called Nonas has to have a bunch of Nonas.
Yes.
And my gosh, the cast that you guys assembled, Lorraine Bracco, Susan Sarandon, Talia Shire, and
Yes.
Brenda Vaccaro.
Yeah, it was Murderer's Row. It felt like art imitating life. I mean, here you have these incredible actors, and the movie really is highlighting and showcasing them in a lot of ways. And so I just had a ton of questions. Thelma and Louise, Godfather.
Right.
Outside of his restaurant, Enoteca Maria, the real Joe Scaravella still is coming to terms with his Hollywood moment.
What did you think when you heard Vince Vaughn was going to play you in a major movie on Netflix?
It's too unreal to think that Vince would play me. I still don't believe it, really. I cried through the whole movie. It's such an amazing cast and director, and it's too much, you know.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Joe having his moment. Nonas begins streaming on Netflix this Friday, May 9th. Our big thanks to Enoteca Maria on Staten Island for hosting us. If you're in New York, visit those real-life Nonas for a great home-cooked meal. By the way, shooting for the second season of Vince's popular Apple TV Plus series Bad Monkey begins later this year. Don't forget to subscribe to the Sunday Sitdown podcast to hear the full extended interview with Vince Vaughn, including his thoughts on the state of the movie business and why he thinks it needs a change. You can find our conversation wherever you get your podcasts or scan the QR code on your screen.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.